All right, let's just jump right into it. We're going to tackle one of the biggest, and I mean most personal questions of our time. It's something that goes way beyond just tech, right? It hits at the very core of who we are. The big question, will AI make us useless?
You know that feeling, right? I'm sure you've felt it. That little jolt of anxiety when you see a chatbot spit out a perfect answer in like 2 seconds. Or you see some AI-generated art that is just, wow, breathtakingly beautiful. And that little thought just creeps into your head. If a machine can do all the things I do, but way better and faster, well, what's left for me to do? What's my purpose?
And see, this is where it gets really deep. We're not just talking about jobs here. This isn't some economic forecast. This is a conversation about our value, our worth as human beings. I mean, for centuries, we've basically defined ourselves by what we do. So what happens when an AI can do it all?
So, as you can probably guess, this whole debate has pretty much split people into two different camps. On one side, you've got the pessimists. They're the ones warning about this coming useless class. And on the other side, you've got the optimists, who think AI is just going to augment us, make our humanity even better. Let's break down both sides of this argument.
Okay, so first up, let's look at the pessimist's view. And the person who really paints this picture most powerfully is the historian Yuval Noah Harari. He warns that AI isn't just going to cause some economic crisis. No, he thinks it's going to trigger a really profound existential one, with the rise of what he calls the useless class.
Now, it's super important to understand what Harari means by this, because it sounds harsh, right? He's not making a moral judgment. This isn't about you being a bad person. It's a cold, practical assessment. He means useless purely from the point of view of the economic and political system, a system that just might not need your labor or even your body anymore.
I mean, think about it this way. Go back through modern history. Even the poorest, most exploited worker had some kind of power, some leverage. The system needed people, you know? It needed bodies for the factories, boots on the ground for the armies, hands to build the roads and buildings. It had to, at the very least, keep you alive and basically functional.
But here's the thing. AI completely flips that script. It changes the fundamental equation. When a single AI can do the work of 1,000 programmers, or a fleet of drones can replace an entire army, what's your value to that system? Seriously, what leverage do you have left?
And this leads to Ritty's really dark prediction. He thinks that to manage this huge new class of people who are, economically irrelevant, the system will just offer up pacifiers. Things like universal basic income so you can survive, sure, but also endless distractions, immersive video games, maybe even drugs, just to keep everyone quiet and occupied. The problem here isn't just that you don't have a job, it's that you lose your sense of meaning.
Okay, wow, that's a pretty bleak outlook, right? But remember, that is only one side of the coin. So let's flip it over now and explore the optimist view, the one that sees AI not as our replacement, but as the ultimate tool, something that will actually augment our humanity.
So the core analogy the optimists use is actually really simple, but it's powerful. Think about the calculator. Did it make mathematicians useless? No way! It made them more powerful. It freed them up from all the boring, tedious arithmetic so they could tackle much bigger, more abstract problems. Same with word processor, right? It didn't make writers obsolete. It just let them focus on the ideas instead of retyping a whole page because of one mistake.
See, the optimists argue that we're getting confused. We're mixing up raw intelligence with actual consciousness. And this slide lays out the difference perfectly. AI is incredible at stuff like calculation, finding patterns in massive amounts of data, just pure processing power. But us, humans, we excel in totally different areas: wisdom, empathy, making tough moral judgments.
Or think of it like this. An AI could analyze every single note Beethoven ever wrote and then create a new song that sounds exactly like him. It could fool an expert, but it can never be Beethoven. It can't be that man who is driven by passion and heartbreak and ambition, who is creating some of the most beautiful music in history in a world he literally couldn't even hear. The AI lacks the lived experience, and that's the real source of all great art.
So here's the punchline for the optimistic view. It's this. AI takes over the how. It does all the repetitive, the analytical, the data-crunching heavy lifting. And that frees us, humanity, to focus entirely on the why. The purpose, the meaning, the ethics, the creativity. It actually frees us up to be more human, not less.
So who's right? The pessimists with their useless class, or the optimists with their human augment? Well, the truth is, the outcome probably isn't up to the AI. It's up to us. This moment in history is what some are calling a philosophical rupture. It is forcing us right now to completely rethink what it even means to be human.
For the last few hundred years, really, if you go back to the Enlightenment, our definition of ourselves has been pretty clear, right? We were the rational animal, the thinking thing.
Our unique advantage, the thing that put us at the top of the food chain, our superpower, was our intelligence, our ability to think, to reason, to outcalculate every other creature on the planet.
But now we're being forced to find a new superpower. Because if a machine can think better and faster than we can, then maybe our defining value was never about thinking in the first place. Maybe our true, unique, unautomatable value lies in our ability to feel, to care, to simply experience the world.
And this slide just nails that fundamental difference. An AI can analyze a sunset. It can tell you the exact wavelengths of light, the particle density in the atmosphere. It could even write a beautiful poem about it based on a million other poems. But it cannot feel awe. It can't be moved to tears by its beauty. That right there is a uniquely human experience.
What AI is forcing us to realize is that we are not just calculators made of meat. We're not just cogs in some big economic machine. We are the source of value itself. We are the ones who look at the world, at a piece of art, at each other, and we decide that it matters.
So, will AI make us useless? Well, only if we keep defining our usefulness by the tasks a machine can do. But if we change the definition, if we redefine our own worth, we discover the one job that can never, ever be automated: deciding what matters, deciding what has meaning and purpose. And that, my friends, is a job that is for us and us alone.